What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. We do have some big topics to discuss. Firstly, it is Nico Williams week. At some point this week, we will receive an answer from the player's side on whether or not he has agreed personal terms with the club, of course, advancing his signing. In regards to exits and incomings, no one has the utmost focus of Barcelona other than Nico Williams, and after that we'll wait and see how things turn out. Again, Dani Olmo still a strong target for Barcelona, but again, his signing will depend on many other key factors. Now, a player in a position that we want to really reinforce this summer, of course, is the midfield, and now we are hearing that the midfield reinforcement is a very low priority. The club do like the offers of N'Golo Kante, Bruno Guimaraes, Mikel Merino, but as things currently stand, following the Nico Williams operation, the club will really just see how the window goes. Probably do a last-second loan deal for midfielder unless there's money coming in or whatever the case may be. But midfielder went from, of course, top 2 to number 1 priority this summer, all the way now to not even being a priority whatsoever. We have some news in regards to players currently at the club as well. Garcia and Ansu Fati very likely to continue at Barcelona beyond the summer transfer window as things currently stand. Also have some updates in regards to the right back position as well. The future of Hector Ford, Jules Kounde, Julian Araujo. Also has some official confirmation, of course, of Rafa Marquez leaving Barca Athletic as the manager. And finally, we do have an itinerary plan for Barcelona this week. It is going to be a big week for Barcelona. Potential signings, press conferences for Hansi Flick, and of course the team will travel to America as well. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number 1 Foot. Number 1 Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market right now. They have a variety of different items at absolutely fantastic prices. For me here today, I'm going to show you guys the training kit from this season. This is the warm-up kit that the players use when they go out for training every single day, pre-games as well. You have here the Spotify logo. They have the club badge on it with the diamond as well. And I also have here one of the sweaters they have from last season. This was the Catalunya version. It feels like I bought this from the Nike store directly. The quality is absolutely unreal. The printing is fantastic. And of course, mainly the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout. You get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will guarantee you free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Click the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 24 hours. First up, we're not talking about Nico Williams. Kind of are a little bit, so we cannot dodge away from that. Just have a very quick update on the perspective from Barcelona's point of view on the Dani Olmo operation. Fabrizio Romano's come out saying that Barcelona is in fact interested in Dani Olmo and have asked about his situation in recent weeks, but right now their number 1 priority and focus is to sign Nico Williams, for whom talks are still going on with the player side to agree on personal terms. So again, the situation of Dani Olmo is still the same, where Barcelona's interest is there. Again, we've offered him a contract, which just shows how strong our interest actually is. RB Leipzig, despite his release clause expiring over the past weekend, will still accept the deal around 60 million euros, 50 plus variables, or 60 flat out. So that's still going to be on the table for the rest of the summer transfer window. But as of right now, the club aren't focused on him whatsoever, because their priority of the utmost highest order is Nico Williams. Now, of course, the number 1 priority for Barcelona is Nico Williams, and we've reached the week where this is it, essentially. We are now a week and a day past the Euro final. We kind of let everything settle down. They celebrated. All the vibes are good. They're on vacation. This is the week where we will get all of our answers in regards to Nico Williams. Firstly, Candacev came out saying that Barcelona's intention is not to drag out the Nico Williams saga any longer. If the player wants to join, they aim to resolve it during this week. It is the club's priority. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that this week will be key for Barcelona and the Nico Williams issue. Gerard Romero came out saying the feeling is that the club is working and wants to close the signing of Nico Williams this week. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get an answer in regards to personal terms. The deal will not be, done and confirmed this week. I mean, it could be if the club really worked fast. We all know Barcelona is last second FC. But the decision from Nico Williams to give the green light or the red light to Barcelona will be happening this week. And now we'll wait and see when it does happen. I suspect around the tailor end of the week, Friday going into the weekend, we'll get an answer. If we get it before that, holla freaking Luya. But with Barcelona having a lot of stuff coming up this week, we'll talk about the Barcelona plan for this week at the end of the video. I suspect it to come around Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, somewhere around then. Again, everything the media is saying that he's leaning towards yes, just now down to agreeing the contract in terms of the player joining Barcelona. He'll say yes, but of course, there has to be an agreement reached on the wages, structure, years on the deal, incentives, TV rights, whatever the case may be, future planning, yada, 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 all that stuff. That has to be agreed. But we will get reports this week at some point about Nico Williams giving the green light or not, and that of course will incentivize everything moving forward. Now quickly in regards to Nico Williams signing, Mateo Marito came out saying that I can tell you that there will be undoubtedly some exits at Barcelona, and in particularly if Nico Williams arrives at the club, someone in the forward line will not be able to stay. Your three candidates there are going to be Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, and Victor Roque. But we'll talk about that when we have more concrete reports, and we'll talk about that once Nico Williams signing, or should I say, once we get an answer from Nico Williams himself. But right now, it's quite clear that this is going to be the week where we will get an answer from Nico Williams and his entourage in regards to him in favor of a move to Barcelona or not. Now, since the end of last season, following Xavi's final match against Sevilla at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, where Barcelona ended up winning 2-1, Barcelona's transfer targets have been clear. Left winger and a midfielder, Nico Williams, plus someone else in the midfield, of course, during Xavi's tenure, while he was still actively the manager. It was a lot about Zubimendi, but since he, of course, was sacked, that has changed the perspective and the personnel, but the profile is still the same. We've been hearing now for the past 2 months, midfield, left wing, midfield, left wing, and now everything has been thrown out the freaking window. Tony Juan Martí, again, remember, he's blocked me on Twitter for a reason. He's a bit negative when it comes to the perspective of what the fan base wants. He's always right when stuff are like in the final stage and stuff like that, but usually in the preliminary area, he tends to be a hit and miss. He's come out saying this, that Barcelona have currently put the signing of a midfielder on standby. The priority is Nico Williams, and then exits will determine what the club can do. Now that does make sense, of course. You want to say Nico Williams, after that, we'll see Wagwan. And I don't mind that whatsoever. Hansi Flick is also getting good impressions from youngsters like Marc Bernal, Marc Casado, and Noah Darvik. I mean, that's of course a good thing, but you want to rely on these kids for a 50-game season where we've just come off the back of a trophyless campaign. Flick does not ask for a positional pivot, and there are several players in the squad who can play in the double pivot. He goes on to mention Frankie de Jong, Gavi, he mentioned Christensen's name as well, which again, valid. Again, we do not need a positional pivot. We're not talking, the Barcelona fans are not crying for a positional pivot. We're crying for a midfield reinforcement. Gavi is not coming back until fucking 2025. Christensen gets stomach flus and gets niggles left, right, and center and can barely finish a half of football. Frankie de Jong, we have no idea what's happening with him right now in terms of his injury. We have no idea also what's happening in regards to his future as well. Those are the three midfielders that you've listed. I've just given you 3 reasons why we cannot rely on them. I cannot. Barcelona will now let the weeks go by. If they can find a way to address Mikel Merino's operation and attempt to make a signing for him, they will. They can also go for someone on loan with no protagonist at any club as well. It is also possible by the end of the window that no midfield target will be signed. So he's basically saying that, look, the club are going to sign Nico Williams and then just see Wagwan, see the feeling, what's going to happen. Which again, I don't mind per se, but bidding this completely is shocking to me. This club, since Busquets put that announcement that he was leaving, we've not done anything. And this is why, we talked about this in 2 videos ago, about Romeo staying. This is why Romeo is staying, because the club are not going to make any movements in the market. Now, Tony Juan Martí also mentioned the club do really like the profile of Bruno Guimaraes, but of course, he's beyond unaffordable. Newcastle probably want around 80 to 100 million euros for him. But again, Bruno Guimaraes is a good profile player that can be used, and that would be ideal for Barcelona. Someone who can play the double pivot, who can do the defensive work, make the runs forward. Again, we're not looking for a Zubamendi or a Busquets type of midfielder. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for, Bruno Guimaraes, a Mikel Merino, a Joshua Kimmich, something like that, where he can play in that position. He has the balance to work with his partner alongside him. That's what we're looking for. Now, a new name has dropped that we've now been linked with since 2015, 2016. And that is bloody N'Golo Kante. Tony Juan Marti also came out saying that Barcelona once again considers N'Golo Kante as a lower cost option after checking his good performances and optimal physical condition at the Euros. Barcelona's idea would be to get Kante on loan, but that does not seem possible, as Al Ittihad will accept that. West Ham have already asked about him and had a bid rejected, by the way, and faced negative input from Al Ittihad regarding a transfer. For now, there is no progression. Again, I believe Newcastle bid around 20 million euros, which again is the same price as Mikel Merino, give or take, and Al Ittihad said no to that. So the club see him as, a loan option, but that's not going to be a reality whatsoever. I'm so frustrated because the blueprint is there. The blueprint is right there. Left wing, midfielder, and we're cooking. That's all you gotta do. That's all the fan base wants. That's all anyone's asking for. We're not asking for an economic lever and then going and signing 5 players that we did in 2022. That's not what we're asking for. Left wing, midfielder. 2 signings. 2 signings. That's all we want. That's all we ask for. And they're just making an absolute meal out of it. This is why I'm saying this right now. If we sign fucking Dani Olmo ahead of a midfielder, I'm gonna lose my shit. I see a lot of people in the comments in yesterday's video. Oh, Dani Olmo's a good player. Oh, he'll be a good useful. Look, Dani Olmo, fantastic player. He's of the level of Barcelona. I would take him based on the profile. The price, I would say, is relatively fair as well for the player. But we do not need him. It's like, what's a good example? Fucking give me something right now. Come on, head. It's like, for example, Rodrigo from Real Madrid. Great player. Let's say he's valued at around 70 million. Worth it. But Barcelona signing him would be idiotic because you have Rafinha and you have Lamine Yamal. A signing that would be good for Barcelona, but does not make sense. It's the same thing for Dani Olmo. We will wait and see how things go. Again, the plan has been quite clear like this for the past 2 weeks. Sign Nico and assess and see what the hell is going on money-wise, squad-wise, all these things like that. And I don't mind that. Again, with us needing 2 signings, you have now a month and a half just about of the transfer window left. We can definitely get Nico Williams done plus someone else. I would be shocked if Barcelona complete more than 3 signings this summer. We're of course going to get minimum 1. After that 1, God knows how many signings we're going to make after that. So we'll see what happens. But right now, the club are making it quite clear that the midfielder signing is no longer a priority and will be as a kind of go as we go basis, in the sense of how the squad needs, what Hansi Flick wants, what kind of money is available, what are the options on the market as well. But again, it was no longer a priority like it was a few weeks ago. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be staying at Barcelona over the past 24 hours, and it's the 2 Spanish lads in Eric Garcia and Ansu Fati. Firstly, on Eric Garcia, coming in from Gabriel Sanz and Mundo Deportivo, he came out saying that Eric Garcia will continue at Barcelona this summer unless a big offer comes in for him. Again, big offer, we're looking at Girona, we're looking at a price of around 15 plus to really push Barcelona to sell him, especially now with the injury of Araujo, who will be out until 2025. The club do need a bit of center back coverage from Eric Garcia, Inigo Martinez, and Mikal Faye. I sense that 2 of them will stay, especially with Christensen probably playing in the midfield, with us not signing a midfielder, or potentially even Eric Garcia as well. So I think 2 out of those 3 will stay. Which 2 out of those 3, I think, remains to be seen. We could see Inigo Faye, we could see Faye Eric Garcia, we could see Eric Garcia and Inigo. Would not be shocked whatsoever what kind of combination of those 3 of the 2 will stay. But again, it is, bolstering up that Eric Garcia will be the one chosen to stay, especially with him going off to Spain in the Olympics and will not be available for probably around 2 weeks. I suspect Spain will go quite far in the Olympics. Their squad is very, very good alongside France and Argentina. I would say the top 3 right now. So I suspect him to go far, so he'll not be available to talk or anything like that. He'll be fully focused on that. So until like mid-August, maybe beginning of August, we won't really hear much on the future of Eric Garcia. And I think, again, him staying is more and more likely as every single day that passes through the window. And of course, you could say the same thing goes for Ansu Fati. Now, Arsenal Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Hansi Flick is convinced that he can recover the best version of Ansu Fati and does want to trust him for the foreseeable future. But a lot of reports coming out from, medium to low tier journalists saying that, Ansu Fati is going to stay. The club see him as a striker. He's going to come in. He's going to, light the world on fire. 2019, 2020 Ansu Fati is being seen in training. He's doing great. He's scoring super hat-tricks and, nutmeg and I've heard everything. I've heard everything. Tuesday, of course, next week, July 30th, we'll see against Man City. We'll see how he performs. Is it 30th or 31st? Might have gotten that wrong there. Oh, it's 30th. So, again, I'm just a genius. So, we'll see then. That's when I want to see Ansu Fati score some goals. That's when I see his performances. And that's what we will be, judging him as a player. So, we'll see how that turns out as well. But right now, the two Spanish lads, Eric Garcia and Ansu Fati, have favorable options to be continuing at Barcelona beyond this transfer window. Now, in yesterday's video, we discussed the right-back dilemma for Barcelona, as Sergio Roberto and Jules Kounde are in Barcelona's plans but are currently not Barcelona players, and the club is still trying to sort out their futures. But in the meantime, we of course have internally a few fullbacks that do have a clear future at Barcelona, of course, in regards to the right-hand side. Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Julian Araujo has chances to stay at Barcelona beyond the preseason and compete with Kounde and Fort for the right-back position. Of course, this should be the case. I would be shocked if Julian Araujo leaves. I think the only way I'd let him leave is, again, for a big offer. I would reject all loan moves for him. I think he's done very well at Las Palmas and should be given a run this season. Listen, Hector Ford, of course, renewed his contract. He's going to get a big role over the next few years, but I don't see him as a first-team player. I think he'll be playing a lot with the Barca Athletic side, and he'll be coming in based on injuries, suspensions, and tactical approaches, whatever the case may be. And how is Hector Ford, by the way, being considered a right back when he's played nothing but left back for Barcelona last season? He played one game for 45 minutes at right back and got hooked at halftime by Xavi. I believe it was the Osasuna at home game, if I'm not mistaken. It was definitely a home game, but I think it was Osasuna. Got hooked at halftime for the 45-minute game he played at right back, and now all of a sudden the club consider him as a right back. Look, of course, his natural position is a right back, but he's been playing at left back a lot. I see him as an option for both sides. I would maybe consider him as a left back as things currently stand. For me personally, my dream for the right back position would be to have Julian Araujo and Jules Kounde. They're competing, and I see Kounde definitely shifting to center back, especially for the first half of the season, with Christensen probably playing in the midfield, Araujo in the hospital bed. I see Kounde playing at right center back as things currently stand, even though the right position has been his natural position over the past year, where he, of course, was absolutely exponentially superb at the Euros. Now, speaking on Jules Kounde, we have an update on when he'll be returning to pre-season training. Tony Juan Martí came out saying that after being eliminated from the Euros, Jules Kounde visited the Ciutat Deportiva to meet Hansi Flick before starting his vacation. We all thought he was going in to train, but turns out he just went in there to meet Hansi Flick, so we can calm down about that. Kounde expressed his desire to join the USA tour despite Hansi Flick advising him to rest, as he planned for Kounde to join the team after the tour. Kounde remained firm in his decision. It is expected that Kounde will arrive to the USA on August the 1st, with the tour already starting and allowing the defender to have almost 3 weeks of rest. As he's just started preseason, Kounde won't see the field as much, but if he were to recover chances, it would be against AC Milan in the final game. I think Barcelona play Man City, Clasico, AC Milan, Monaco, Joan Gamper, and then that's it. Preseason's over, and La Liga against Valencia de Mestalla. Fucking hell. Just thinking about that gets me nervous. So, monster. This man is an absolute monster. Can we just talk about quickly Ferran Torres? I said this when in the video we talked about, Pedri and Lamine Yamal and Fermin Lopez and Ferran Torres were just given the USA tour off. And I said, you know what, that's justifiable for Lamine Yamal. Pedri, of course, is injured for minutes at the Olympics. Why is Ferran Torres taking that long of a break? Barely played for Spain. He came on maybe about 10 minutes here and there, played 90 minutes against Albania. This is Kounde, who played 90 minutes, played every single second for France at the Euros, and he's coming back earlier than Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres talked about his shark mentality and going like this, but this is the work, hard work that the fans see that gets us motivated, that gets us encouraged, and gets us on the side of players. Now, don't score a free kick against Betis, against a fifth choice Betis goalkeeper, go like this and talk about shark mentality when you've had, the whole entire season off because you've had 2 crappy injuries midway through the season, and all of a sudden now where there's numbers and we need some attackers for the preseason, you're out on an Ibiza chilling. I'm just saying. So, shout out to Kounde, man. He's an absolute monster. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is a role model and a leader for this team coming into next season. So, we'll wait and see what the decision is in regards to the right back position. I think, again, Roberto, Cancelo, I still think both of them could end up joining. Of course, both of them could possibly not join. One of them could. So, I think with Hector 4, he's going to kind of be the reserve option for both the right-hand side and left-hand side going forward. I think right-hand side, Julian, Cancelo, left-hand side, Balde, Vai. Of course, Vai is moved on, or the club don't fancy him. Hector 4 could be getting that promotional spot, you could say, even though he won't be having a first-team number next season. So, we've got good depth in the forward position. Yes, you could say we could improve it, but we have other areas to improve. Again, midfield now, is not a priority, so best believe we ain't making any fullback signings. And I'm very, very happy with our fullback situation. Again, you have Balde, very good. Vai, good challenge, and the up-and-coming youngster. Julian Araujo, who impressed, of course, last season. Cancelo, of course, he returns. Kounde, who's been phenomenal over the past year. Hector 4, fantastic talent. So, in regards to the fullback position, I think we're pretty comfortable. But again, wait and see what the final decision is once we start to enter the end, you could say, of preseason. But right now, you could say all options are open and on the table. Let's discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. For the only injury update we do have is on Araujo, with Gabriel Sanz and Deportivo coming out saying that Ronald Araujo is heading to Finland for surgery on his right hamstring, which of course is scheduled for today. Araujo traveled from Barcelona with his entourage and also Dr. Ricard Pornia. Dr. what's this guy's name? Leperman? I don't know. Who will operate on Araujo, has previously treated other Barcelona players, including Balde, Dembele, Ansu Fati, and Sergi Roberto. So, he's going to have his surgery today. Again, he will be out for around 4 months. We will not see him probably until the new year. He could maybe come back in December, but let's not rush it. Let's hopefully he comes back 1,000,000,000% ready to go for the Spanish Super Cup in January. And of course, following his injury, according to Marca, FIFA are expected to pay Barcelona around 2.5 million euros following the injury of Araujo. So again, some money coming in. Whether that club will use that money for, I have no idea. Will it go towards FFP? Probably not. But again, it's some money coming in, which we'll take. But again, with Araujo going under the knife later on today and will be out for probably the rest of the year. Now, the biggest news from yesterday's video is, of course, confirmed today. Rafa Marquez has officially left Barcelona. The club released an official statement saying that Barca athletic manager Rafa Marquez leaves the club as he heads to seek a new professional challenge. An agreement has been reached to terminate his contract. Of course, he is taking the Mexico job. I'm giving you my opinion and the details of the offer. It's in yesterday's video, but today the news was made official. There were some reports saying that also, by the way, that Rafa Marquez never actually signed a renewal with Barcelona. He agreed it, of course. It was a verbal agreement. The club, of course, announced it that it was a verbal agreement, but he never actually signed it. But anyways, the club are definitely going to let him leave. It's a Mexico job. Of course, that was probably the only job that he would have left Barcelona for, especially mid-season. Now, of course, later on today, Barca Athletic are supposed to start their preseason, and right now, they don't have a manager, but someone will, of course, step in, and it will be Albert Sanchez, who, of course, was the assistant of Rafa Marquez, and he will lead Barca Athletic as the interim manager since they returned to training, and again, we'll wait and see what the developments are with that. Again, Julian Belletti is still the favorite right now to be, promoted from Juvenile A to Barca Athletic as the new manager. There's been a lot of names on the table as well, like Alberto Campañas, Javier Mascherano, another name that slips my head that I forget, but again, options are there, and wait and see what the club do decide. I think in the end they'll probably give it to Belletti, which again makes sense. He was the assistant of Rafa Marquez and went to Juvenile A for about a week, could get promoted straight away. So we'll see how things turn out, but again, the official announcement of Rafa Marquez's departure is now confirmed, as he will be heading to Mexico to lead his country over the next 5 years. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to Barcelona's plan for the next week. It is an action-packed week. Of course, US Tour is going to start, Hansi Flick press conferences, Nico Williams deal as well, and Gerard Miro came out with a preview of Barcelona's week ahead. Today, at some point, we're expecting an interview from Hansi Flick with Barca 1. So again, that'll be a Barca 1 where the club will ask him the questions. It'll be a very friendly interview, probably nothing coming out. Tuesday is blank, so that could be Nico Williams' day in regards to, reaching a full agreement with him on personal terms. Wednesday, there will be a board of directors meeting, which hopefully will involve fucking returning to the 1-1 rule. Right now, Jordan Miro says that Barcelona socials continue to say that they are still working on the financial agreement to return Barcelona to the 1-1 rule and are convinced that everything will be resolved this summer. Fucking hell. We went from June 30th deadline to a week into July, 2 weeks into July, and now the end of the summer. I can't with this club. When I tell you guys this club, especially under Laporta, is last second FC, I'm not kidding. Again, personally for me, based on my sources, based on my knowledge of the Barcelona media and me as a fan, I'm beyond confident that Barcelona will reach the 1-1 rule. When? I have no idea. If you told me right now we're going to reach 1-1 rule on August the 31st, I would believe you. I would believe you. That's how bad it is. But anyways, Wednesday, board of directors meeting. Thursday will be Hansi Flick's press conference ahead of the US tour. That is with the media, so media asking him questions. That will be the more tasty stuff. Barcelona's going to be very, very friendly. And then Sunday is when the team travels to America. Now, for me personally, I told you guys in yesterday's video, I suspect the team to leave Wednesday or Thursday. They're leaving Sunday, which for me is quite late, especially with the game happening on Tuesday. You're going to leave Sunday, get there Monday, and then already have a game on Tuesday. That's quite a huge turnaround. I suspected Thursday or Friday would have been a prime time to go, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. It's not my decision to make, so that's going to be this is essentially the itinerary of the week. Of course, Friday, Saturday, nothing really planned per se apart from usual business, so anything can happen then. But the Tuesday eye emoji, you never know what that entails. So we'll wait and see how things turn out for the upcoming week, but it will be a big week for Barcelona again with operations, financial fair play, 2 Hansi Flick interviews as well. Again, he's done 2 interviews since getting the job about a month and a half ago, so they will be absolutely huge. And of course, that trip to America, but we will see Barcelona back in action in just over a week's time. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want first, of course, is your thoughts on the Nico Williams deal. What do you think it will happen, and do you think it will happen or not? Second, your thoughts on a midfielder now no longer being the priority for Barcelona. Thirdly, your thoughts on the right back position. What would you do? What would be your planning in regards to the entire fullback area? And finally, your thoughts on Eric Garcia and Ansu Fati's increasing chances of continuing at Barcelona beyond this summer. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.